Hey guys, it's Jenny Silver, and today I want to talk to you about PPP, owner's compensation, and everything you need to know in order to use your PPP loan to pay yourself as a self-employed individual. So before I go any further, please click like, subscribe, and leave a quick comment down below. It really helps boost my channel, and I truly appreciate it. Let's talk about the PPP loan, the Payroll Protection Program, and owner's compensation. Now, if you are self-employed with no employees and you are using your PPP loan to pay yourself, this video is for you. How is your loan balance calculated for the PPP? Well, this is calculated based on your 2019 Schedule C, line 31, which is your net income from your self-employment. Now, that number is divided by 12 months in a year to give you your monthly average net income. That is then multiplied by 2.5, 2.5 months, 10 weeks, which equals 10 weeks of owner's compensation. Now, how can you use this money? PPP Flexibility Act states that you must use at least 60% or more of your PPP funds in order to pay yourself or pay your employees. So basically anything payroll related. This includes owner's compensation for self-employed. Additional 40% can be used for business related rent, mortgage interest, and utilities. So, do you have to use only 60% to pay yourself, or can you use the full 100% for owner's compensation? Yes, you can use a minimum of 60% all the way up to 100% or your full loan balance as owner's compensation. This is completely fine. This is what this loan is intended for, is for replacing lost wages, to keep people on payroll, to cover owner's compensation. So yes, as a self-employed individual, you can use 100% of your PPP funds to cover your own owner's compensation. So what about paying yourself? So there's two things that you want to make sure that you do, either one or the other. First thing, either have a bookkeeper who you know can keep really careful track of your business expenses, or what's going to be easiest for most is to set up a completely separate bank account for your PPP funds, just for those funds. So set up this account, and if you weren't able to have your loan fund to that account directly, it's okay. You can transfer the complete loan balance directly into that account so that you show on record that that entire balance is just your PPP funds. Now, once you have done that and you've set yourself up with a separate account, you will be able to then pay yourself. So, are there standards to which you must adhere in order to pay yourself properly? Now, if you previously had any sort of consistent method through which you paid yourself out, if you paid yourself monthly, weekly, bi-weekly, anything along those lines, you'll want to try to keep consistent with that. However, if you, like many other self-employed individuals, pay yourself out using owner's draws sporadically and you don't have a set pay schedule, you're going to want to make sure that you calculate out how much of your PPP loan should be paid out to you on a weekly basis, and then pay yourself that amount either weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. Now, I have chosen a weekly model because I was previously on pandemic unemployment, and I want to be able to certify every week that I'm receiving funds from my PPP loan. I want that amount to line up with the amount that I'm transferring to my personal account, and I want it to all look the same. So I have chosen a weekly model. You don't have to do that, but that's what I've chosen to do for myself. So once you've chosen the frequency at which you're going to pay yourself, you need to then determine the amount. Now, in order to determine the amount that you are going to pay yourself on a weekly basis, you're going to take your PPP loan balance as a self-employed individual, and you are going to do a very simple mathematic calculation with it. Now, when you applied for your PPP loan, you were required to give your Schedule C, line 31, which is your net income. Your net income for the year equals 12 months of your average pay. Now, if we take that net income, we divide it by 12, and then we multiply it by 2.5, that should equal what you received in terms of a PPP loan. Now, how much are you going to pay yourself weekly? So you're going to take your PPP loan balance and you're going to divide it by 10. Your PPP loan balance includes 2.5 months, which is 10 weeks of owner's compensation, your net income. So if you take your loan balance, divide it by 10, that's going to equal your weekly payment amount. Now that you know what you should be paying yourself out weekly, you can choose if you want to pay it out weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. So how are you going to actually issue yourself payments? Well, if you have your PPP funds in a separate account, you are going to issue yourself an owner's draw from that account on your planned schedule that you have created for yourself. So if you're like me and you're paying yourself out weekly, every week you will go into your bank account, which holds your PPP funds, and you will do a bank transfer from that business bank account holding your PPP funds over into a personal checking account. Now, transferring those funds is known as an owner's draw. You transfer funds from your business account to your personal account, and you are a sole proprietor or a single member LLC, that would be an owner's draw. So as long as you do that into a personal account, you have on record, both from the account that holds the funds and in your personal account, that that amount was paid out to you. Well, if you received your funds for your PPP loan after the Flexibility Act for the PPP loan has passed, you will have a 24-week period throughout which you have the time to use up your funds. Now, during the course of that time, at least 60% of your PPP loan funds must be used as income replacement. So either owner's compensation or paying out employees. If you are self-employed with no employees, yes, you may use all 60% of that for your owner's compensation. You may also use 70% or 80% or 90% or 100% because requirements state that you must use at least 60%. Up to 100% is fine. Remember, your loan balance equals 10 weeks of your 2019 net income. So it's all your net income. You're self-employed. Yes, it can all be used as owner's compensation. So what if you're on unemployment? Prior to accepting your PPP loan, you may have been on pandemic unemployment assistance in order to help cover your loss of income. Well, the first thing you need to know about this is that no, you cannot continue to receive unemployment payments while you are paying yourself out from your PPP loan. For the entire 10 weeks worth of owner's compensation that you can receive, you will need to certify on unemployment that you are being paid by your business, or you will need to close your unemployment claim by either not certifying or clicking the box in your biweekly certifications that yes, you're going to continue to work for this employer. Now, I have a video that walks you through exactly how I certify for my PPP loan, and it's going to pop up right now, as well as going drop down in the comments down below. So if you need me to walk you through how to certify, go ahead and click that. So can you claim your PPP loan in one lump sum? Claim it in 1 week that you are paid out, that your loan funds in unemployment, and then continue receiving unemployment after that. The answer is no. You must certify for your PPP loan every single week of those 10 weeks worth of owner's compensation. So no, you must pause your unemployment payments. You're not unemployed if you're receiving your wage replacement from a PPP loan. So once it ends, once that 10-week period is over, you can reopen your claim if you are still unemployed. Next, I want to talk about the EIDL Advance Grant. If your business receives an EIDL Advanced Grant, that amount is not going to be forgivable from your PPP loan. That amount was paid to you up front, and it is going to be subtracted from the amount that you are able to have forgiven from your PPP loan. So if you're like me, you had one employee yourself at the time of application, and you received a $1,000 payment for one employee, you will subtract $1,000 from what you expect to have forgiven from your PPP loan. Now, that means that everything except for that $1,000 will be forgiven. That means that except for that $1,000, the entire other portion of your PPP loan is eligible for forgiveness as long as you use at least 60% for owner's compensation or payroll replacement or more, and 40% or less for additional expenses, which includes business-related rent, mortgage interest, and utilities. If you received a $1,000 EIDL, expect to have to pay back $1,000 at the end of your loan period. What about forgiveness? When can you apply for forgiveness? Well, the application process for forgiveness has already opened, so it is completely fine once you reach the end of your loan term Most likely you're on 24 weeks at this point. However, if you applied earlier, you might be on an 8-week term. However, at the end of your loan term, you will be able to apply. Now, if you are self-employed, you are eligible to use the new 580EZ form, which is much simpler and much easier. So you can use Form 580EZ if you're a self-employed individual, independent contractor, or sole proprietor with no employees at the time of the PPP loan application and did not include any employee payroll in the average monthly payroll expense calculation on the application. So here are some instructions provided by Bench Accounting that will help you to complete this form. So line 1, this is going to be your owner's compensation replacement value. This is 2.5 months of your net income as reported on your 2019 Schedule C. This is going to have a maximum of $20,833.33. 2 through 4 is going to be any applicable mortgage interest, rent or lease payments, or utility payments that you want to apply for forgiveness on. 5 is going to be the sum of lines 1 through 4. Line 6 is going to be your PPP loan amount. Line 7 is going to be line 1 divided by 0.6. Line 8 is going to be the smallest value of lines 5 through 7. Now, because of how owner's compensation replacement has changed, your amounts in lines 5 and 6 should be the same number and the lowest of the 3, meaning you will be eligible for forgiveness on the entirety of the loan for just your owner's compensation replacement. Okay, guys, I hope that was helpful. Please click like, subscribe, and leave me a comment down below.